Good morning, rookies. It's pretty freaking cold. This is how cold it is. Hopefully you can see the ice. It's about 20 degrees. Today's plan, today is Sunday. The plan today is go replace the hoses on the truck that need to be replaced. Install some new headlights. Oh yeah, we got some new headlights that I'm gonna try and make work. Let's show them. Right here. That's what they look like. We'll see how they work, if they do work, and then we'll go from there. Another plan is, the plan was to get the Jakes dropped off to Freightliner, truck dropped off to Freightliner to do the Jakes, but they don't have any openings and I can't get anybody to do it. So unfortunately we're running the truck without Jakes again. And to make matters worse, I'm running to Washington, D.C. So if any of you are familiar as a truck driver, from St. Louis to Washington, D.C., you go down through Maryland and you take I-68, which is one of the worst interstates that you could possibly be on, in my opinion at least, interstate-wise. I mean, there's some 80 is good, 76 is good, 70 is good. All of those interstates are fine as far as up northeast. I'm talking about main interstates. Obviously you have small routes that can be horrible, like the route that I was on last week, but I'm talking about the interstates. I-68 is pretty horrible, and really there's no other way to go down there except I-68. However, considering that I'm over 30 and I'm having an issue with my Jakes, I'm just gonna run up towards, I think it's Carlisle, PA, up on 76, which is the tollway road, and then I'm gonna take 81 and then merge onto 70, because 68 goes and then merges back onto 70, and then you go to Washington. But yeah, that's the plan. And then as far as today, there are two main hoses which are extremely long, and also I think the water pump hose is also leaking. I'm gonna have to inspect that and get that replaced, and those two hoses. And then other than that, I mean, first things first, the worst thing is I'm gonna have to drain out all the coolant, since I'll be working on that, especially the water pump. So I bought some buckets here at Harbor Freight. I'm sure there's some buckets at the shop, but the crappy thing is I'll probably be working outside. It's like 20 degrees, but it's just sometimes it is what it is, and you just have to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna go down there, do the hoses, run the Freightliner, maybe check out the air governor for the compressor, because I think that might be bad. It doesn't really stop. Check that out. Inspect all the brake lines, not the brake lines, the air lines, and then really just go from there and hope to not get even more sick. So yeah, that's the plan for today. We'll try and get you guys onto everything. My radiator going up, not radiator, my radar. I say radiator. We'll try and get you guys on with the program, with whatever we do today. I don't really record if there's too many people around, especially that I'm not comfortable with. You know, it's kind of weird, but whatever, doesn't matter. I'll try to still record something for you guys, and yeah, we'll catch you guys at the shop. All right. Alright everyone, we have the truck running. Figured I'd show you the lights. I installed this one. This is the old one. Here's the light. And then I'll show you on the other side how to install them. This is low beam. Here, I'll go turn on high beam. Truck is on because I don't think I can turn on high beams without the truck working. This is high beam. As you can see, that's much brighter. And then we're going to replace these, show you how to do it. Pretty simple, plug and play, mess with a couple wires. So let's go do that side. All right, obviously, so first things first, remove this. Speeds up the process. With the drill a little bit. Had some back. So your original headlight, let's see if this original headlight comes with wires that are not wired the same way that this plug is, but you get this adapter that you can mess around with different plugs. So what we're gonna do, take this out, and then I gotta make sure I mount it correctly, but we'll unplug this. We'll plug this in. All right, so on the bottom they have black. So on the bottom here we have blue. Basically, there's not that many wires, so you can kind of have a few combinations. Okay. It's non-stop running high, which is not what we want. So we might have to switch it around. Maybe my high beams are on. So I'm gonna first go double check that before I proceed. Nope, I just didn't plug it in correctly. Okay. That's blue. That's just one of them working, as you can see. And then I'll turn on the light the other way. So yeah, I have it on the bottom. We'll see how that works. If it doesn't shine good enough, I'll flip them up. Yeah, it's a little bit of fiddling. It's pretty chilly. Kind of mess around with it until it all fits in there. Grab your screws and throw that right in. Okay. this fits in here. Okay. And screw it in right there. So we have our screw on the top. This screw on top basically does the leveling of where the light shines. Gonna move this one in a little bit as well. To get it out nice and straight. Yep. That looks good. Now we're gonna do our high beam. But once we install that high beam, I'm gonna have to start that truck up. All right. These freaking wires moved these wires, and now this light shut off. So I'm gonna probably have to take this out and make sure those wires are nice and snug. Yeah, let's turn on the truck if it wants to turn on. So these two are high and low. The top one, I mean, these two are high and ground, and this is low beam. And for high beam, you don't need your low beam, and the plug only has two anyways. So let's mess around and see which one will work. You really have two combinations. There we go. Alright everyone, here's the final result. High beams are on. The nice thing is when you turn on high beams, the high beams come on the low beams and the high beams, which is pretty sweet. Pretty easy to install. We'll see how well they last. Next, we gotta jump to some hoses. Do those, and then we'll see. Alright everybody, welcome back. Change of plans there. As far as the work on the truck, what I was gonna do today, that's kind of annoying. Anyways, hopefully that doesn't keep tapping the whole way home. But so long story short, sometime back I had a coolant leak. Basically there's a hose that leads to the sleeper, and then there's a hose that comes back out of the sleeper for the coolant. And long story short, that hose was leaking. And so what we did is, since I never really use the AC or heating in the sleeper, we just shut the valve off. There's like a valve, you just twist it and it cuts off the coolant and it stops the leaking. And that was like a resolution for some time there. And so we did that. And then the same thing happens is there's a hose that goes into the cab as well, same scenario. And then that started leaking, so I had to shut that valve off. But what I realized is, in the meantime of me doing those things, I opened up the valve on the sleeper, and the whole time I've been thinking it's closed. So I was gonna replace it today, and then I seen that and I was like, oh boy, I can just shut it off and not have to do this in this freaking cold, and I'll still be okay. So that's just what I did. I just shut that hose off, and I'm not gonna deal with it today because it's freaking cold. My main issue for now remains the jakes that are not working, but I can't do work on that myself, so I'm gonna have somebody at Freightliner do it, figure out why it's not working. It's probably one of the wires under the valve cover when it was messed with. But yeah, at least you got to see the video of lights, and then here we can show you some St. Louis. Hopefully we don't crash here. I'm holding just the GoPro. Yeah, I think that will do it for today's video, and thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you later on the next one.